Good evening and welcome back to another episode of His Will for Your Life. I'm your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and joining me this evening to discuss Business Entrepreneur Month is Martin and Nell Barrett. Stay tuned. Please like, tag, and share this episode, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and please comment, and we'll be right back.
His Will for Your Life with Cherie Harris. This is your weekly Wednesday 7 p.m. podcast. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Informative, hot topics, testimonies, interviews, along with your weekly guests and more. And now here's your host, Cherie Harris.
Welcome back to His Will for Your Life. Again, I'm your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and joining us this evening is Martin and Nell Barrett. How are you this evening?
Well, how are you?
We're doing good. Can you hear us nice and clear?
I sure can. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great to have you for having us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
We're welcome. Before we get into who you are and what you do, we're going to play a little promo and then we'll be right back. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Marriage is work, and building a strong marriage is work.
As you're building a strong relationship, have fun. We all know relationships start off happy, enjoyable, like a new car. Then that's when the newness wears off.
That's why MLB speaks the truth in love. With 25 plus years of marriage and over 15 years as marriage mentors, encouraging couples, we've seen things turn around. We'll provide many insights as to how to have and what a strong marriage looks like.
We look to impact your audience with our talks that isn't just words.
So, contact us today for your next in-person or virtual couples event so couples can have a stronger marriage and someday share their overcomer story, just like us.
Great.
Wow. I like that. I like that promo.
Nice.
I don't know what that is.
I bet you do. So now that we have that promo up and you have 25 years plus under your belt, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, as we said in the video, we have 25 plus years. So coming up, we'll be 27 years married. And that's not an easy thing to do, but yet it is easy when you're with the one that you love so dearly. And it makes that transition into what we do in doing business that much easier. A lot easier.
Yes.
And as a couple, we work together and we just really want to impact the people that we come in contact with, whether they're online or in person. Besides working with couples, as we mentioned in that's just part of what we do. The other side part is not in that video, and that is the actually leadership development. So whether, it's a Fortune 1,500 small business workshop, sort of like what we're going to talk about a little bit today, but we're going to infuse a little bit of relationship information in there. And also our goal is to give everybody, some strategies and how to have a profitable, side business, or we call them side
Hustles.
Side hustles. So the gamut of what we do is pretty wide and vast, and we don't put all of our eggs in one basket. And I think our power just went off on the Bluetooth. Can you still hear us?
Yes.
Claire?
Yes.
Good. Just want to make sure. So I wanted to just kind of like, if it's okay with you, I wanted to share something tonight by Sonera. If you see me looking down, I'm actually looking at my phone. It's not that I'm looking down at my feet. And she said, be scared and do it anyway. Be underqualified and get in the room anyway. Be messy, imperfect, and unsure. Show up anyway. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Get uncomfortable. Now, that for me, that says a lot. And I think if you're in business, if you're in even if you're in ministry or anything of that nature, it's
get uncomfortable.
You got to get uncomfortable. It's not going to be easy. This is something that people have to understand, and it's the road. It's sort of like the Lord says, in the scriptures and Psalms, when you're walking through the valley is somewhere nobody likes to go. And primarily we're talking to Christians tonight. I understand, correct?
We're talking to everybody.
Okay, great. Everybody. So when you're walking through the valley, a lot of things happen in the valley, but a lot of times we want to run through the valley. But he says, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, walk, not run. Because when we're going through the process, there are some things we always say to ourselves, right? That we're going to learn.
Yeah, you got to learn how to stretch. He's stretching us for a purpose and a reason.
Absolutely. You finished?
Yeah.
Instead of intro, huh?
Can I say one thing? I want to mention one thing. I want to say one thing, though. It's not that it's a shameless plug, but we talked about it. We want to encourage people to visit our website, which is www.mlbspeaks. That's plural, M as in Martin, L as in Larry, which is actually L is for Luther, my middle name, speaks.com. Please like and share us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So all those social handles, just look up MLB Speaks, and we would love for you to like and share this broadcast, and also like and share our business pages as well.
Awesome. Okay, let's dive right in. Okay, is that all right? You ready?
Let's do it.
How do you both define success?
Wow.
Nice question.
That's a very good question. I wrote a while ago, right, babe, a paper on a success mindset. In success, I'm going to dial it. Can we dial it back a little bit on that?
Sure.
Most people think when you look at a couple, my wife and I, we've always had our own businesses. Okay, before we got married. Before we got married, you had your own business, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was a hairstylist. So I was a hairstylist. So I had my own business. I had to learn how to advertise. I had to learn how to get budget. I had to learn how to pay taxes.
Wow. Uncle ain't our Sam. Uncle Sam is not our uncle.
So, I learned, I bumped my head a few times. But you get back up. Like, as he said, you don't stay there. You keep trying and you keep trying. So,
and I think what Nell also I learned from my wife, because before we got married, I had marketing and sales experience. One thing I learned from my wife was the world of 1099, and we didn't even before we got married. We both respectively had businesses, and she was more of like. What before we got married, and then when we got married, what I learned from my wife, and we're going to get back to that success part, and that is record keeping.
Oh yeah, I forgot the bookkeeping part. Yeah,
and that's a lot of businesses don't understand how you can have really good success, and that is record keeping, and that's something I learned, and I learned to have a good accountant as well. Personally, I never had an accountant. Listen, she had an accountant, and these are the things that will attribute that led to success for her business when she was as a stylist. And we kind of took her single business mindset and my single business mindset, and we married them together when we got married. But we don't look at success as having money,
No.
Because you can make a lot of money, and success is not in the amount of how many cars you drive, or how many S-Class Mercedes or BMWs, whatever it may be that you have. Success to us, really, it is being able to impact and share and help somebody else, honestly, because we call it come up.
Come up, yeah.
If we can't bring others with us, love isn't love until you share it. Someone told me when I was much younger, in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
It's no good. What good is love if you can't share it?
So what's good on being on top if you can't share with anybody else? So success is different from everybody. But for us, our success is just being able to go and give back to our community and the people that we love.
There's a lot of free hairstyles you did for people.
Oh, absolutely.
Who was a commission that said love isn't love until you've given it away?
Giving away.
That's right.
So can a husband and wife be business partners?
Yes. Yes, we can be business partners. We could be business partners. We could be friends. We could be lovers. Yes.
I was about to say that one too. Lovers.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And, people have always said to us, how in the world can you work from home and work around your wife? I said, did you get married? For richer or for poor, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. One of the things we do have an office inside of our home.
Right.
So there are times I'm in the office, or she may be doing something in the office. But the key is knowing how to shut it down. Shut it down.
Yeah, I was going to say that it has to have a balance. Definitely a balance. Sometimes I'm gonna be transparent.
Go ahead.
He never turns it off. He's constantly like going and going and going. I'm like, okay, it's time for a break. It's time for a break, and so forth. So yeah, we can be business partners, but we also need to have a balance through it all.
Okay, so that jumps down to one of my last questions. So since you went there, I'm going to go there. Okay. How do you spend your free time? Is it together or separately?
It's a combination of both, because he needs his space, I need my space, and we need our time together.
Right. And for our audience, how healthy is that?
Oh, very this is healthy. It's very healthy. I would definitely recommend it. There's some times where he don't quite understand the girly side of me. You know what I mean? He's there to be there and love me as his wife, but also he doesn't understand where, okay, I need to be with my girls. They get it. You know what I mean? They understand what I go through, where sometimes it's like over his head. So I think it's an awesome thing. And we do it quite a bit.
We do it quite a bit. And here's the interesting thing about that. And that is this year's. We did a workshop several months about the 10 habits of highly successful couples, relationships, and 10 habits. And one of those habits we kind of talked about, and that is, I don't think you can still hear us clearly, right?
You still hear us? Mm-hmm.
Good. So one of those habits, and that is being separate, not separate in your relationship or marriage, but it's like his needs, her needs.
Right.
Her needs are different from my needs. And it's healthy to have that, when I'm with some of the guys and things like that. And like, I may go to a game or anything of that nature. So I think couples need to know that there's a balance. And how do we work together for so long? Honestly, there are times I may have a great idea, and she'll tell me that don't make no sense. That's the business side.
It is.
And we have to learn to be not critical, but take criticism.
Right.
Mhm.
And we've learned to separate the business part of what we do and our relationship and our marriage. Because listen, we're not going to allow, one thing we're not going to allow is allow the business
To destroy our marriage.
to destroy our marriage. And a lot of people who are in business together as couples, they've allowed success destroy the marriage, because it's not money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil.
Okay, so you guys kind of went into my question that I had for you, and I'm going to ask it again, right? How do you separate business from marriage while running an organization? And part two of that, should there be a separation between the two?
Well, can I answer this?
Sure. Yeah.
And you can chime in there. Well, what we do is so with our talks, we do at conferences and workshops, whether it's together or me as an individual, because I go in and do leadership to small businesses, Fortune 1,500 companies, and to pastoral conferences and workshops. In the past, I used to be a senior pastor. I'm still a pastor too, because once a pastor, you're always a pastor, and I still teach as well. Some things are in the fire right now. From a business standpoint, we incorporate the moral values, the integrity into our business, and it's a part of the day-to-day operations of what we do. And being faith-based, the baseline for what our business is based on a Christian faith. And we want to really engage with people and show them that, like, for example, there's a Bible study or something we just came up with on love. And normally we're doing things talking about love and marriage, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So we put together some curriculum just recently, and this love relationship thing basically talks about not just the relational love between a man and a woman, but the relationship between that man and woman, or even if you're single, and God. So I hope that answers the question. Maybe not. But that's how we kind of, maybe I didn't answer that fully, but.
So let me rephrase it. Is it healthy to constantly just work together? That's my part too. Should there be a separation between marriage and business, or is it something that should be one and the same?
It's one and the same for us, because for some people, we do put boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to have boundaries
Mm-hmm.
in business. Like, if we're going away for the weekend, we ain't talking business.
We're not talking business.
Great.
Honestly. Listen,
Great.
if I'm in Barbados, I did that one time.
Oh, you did? That's right. And I was like, why do you have your laptop?
And the client called me. We're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, right.
I brought my laptop. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It was a big opportunity I was working on. We was in the port in Nassau, Bahamas, or Mexico on the ship,
Yes.
and my phone rang. And she said, "Why you pick up your phone?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was checking my email, I think, and this is years ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with
Yeah,
you.
it was.
And I learned at that point.
And I wasn't that calm.
No, you weren't. You were not calm.
No.
But that's when I learned, no matter the success, there has to be that separation.
Yes.
Because when we don't have that boundary and separation, it can put a strain on the relationship. And whether it's ministry and pastors, or whether you're in a small business or a leader in a corporation, if you don't separate that, it will take a toll. It will be taxing on the relationship. So you got to set boundaries. It's separate, sort of like the Holy Spirit. It's three, but they one. it's our business, but we have that's a bad analogy. But it's our business, but we have to have boundaries. We have to have boundaries.
Great, thank you. Do your skill sets complement one another, or does it compete with one another?
I think they
kind of complement.
they complement.
I think they complement one another.
They complement one another.
Yeah, because the areas where I'm weak, you're stronger.
Yeah.
So yeah, they complement.
I was a hot mess before I got married. That's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be straight up. I ain't lying. Right? You can agree. You can agree.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to change you though.
No, she wasn't trying to change me.
No.
But she complimented and it made me a better person for who I am, and vice versa as well.
Whoever you're connected to should promote growth, whether it's in business relationship, friendship, marriage. It should promote growth. So you shouldn't be the same when you're with someone.
Stagnation, just like the economy, the economy has to have continual and regular growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful, honestly. Mm-hmm. Nell, I appreciate everything that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never knew what 1099 was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I never knew what that was.
Yeah, really.
I never knew what it was like to do taxes, have an accountant. Listen, that was clueless to me. Because Uncle Sam would have came after me and said, "I'm gonna give you some bracelets."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know what those are, right?
Of course. Yes, you're going to jail. How does your business generate income? This is for those audience who are looking to start businesses or they're operating one now, and they're looking for ways to generate income.
We was just talking about this the other night. Our talks, right?
Yeah, marketing, advertising.
So I would say we generate income when we go out and speak. The knowledge and information that we have in this here, can't get this at Harvard Business School. You got to pay for it. It costs you not a dime or a nickel, but a couple dollars. And we generate income primarily from speaking engagements. But here's the wonderful thing, and a lot of people want to say, how can you generate business when you're not out there doing engagements? Well, my wife, lovely as she is and beautiful, but Nell is one of the smartest women that I've met. Beautiful inside out. We have our own curriculum. Mm-hmm. So launching in 2023, see, while we're having this conversation, mm-hmm. couples and singles are going to be able to log on and download the curriculum, and we don't ever will see them ever. It's turnkey. Right. You want to be able to have the business be turnkey where it's making income and revenue mm-hmm. when you're sleeping. And that's important.
Absolutely. My goal is to make money while I'm asleep. And even though you explained it a little bit, so for those who don't understand turnkey, please explain it.
Turnkey basically is something that is simple and it's always going to make money. I'm going to give you like the easiest layman terms on that. It's already set up. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it after it's set up. And it's going to continually generate income. Sort of like people buy franchises. Mm-hmm. And they buy franchises because it's turnkey. Someone already did the legwork mm-hmm. and the hard work already. Mm-hmm. So the hard work, Nell and I, we've done, no one else is going to benefit from it but us. So instead of us, like for it right now, going out to a conference and meeting with 200 people, guess what? They can log on, watch their own private video conference, get the curriculum, and you know what? I'm somewhere in the Bahamas. I'm in California. That's what it's all about. And outside how we also generate business, we have 2 books that we're going to be releasing in 2023 about both of us. Tell them about our story.
Okay. So would you say that those are those should be added in with any business, because that would be the most part that would generate income, books and your curriculum?
Well, for us,
For us,
yes. For us, yes. You know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So when you don't have revenue coming in from speaking engagements, where are you going to get the revenue from? Got to come from somewhere else, right? So that's when the online business model of curriculum and registration. Now, here's the wonderful thing about that. You know, when you go to a gym, it's turnkey. It's the gift that keeps on giving. 60% of the people don't even go to the gym when they sign up, but the money continues to come off the account. That's exactly what we're in the process of doing for 2023. It's going to be a subscription base where couples and small businesses can register. Listen, every month they'll get some new content that's going to equip them in different levels.
Okay.
And then they get to come to a conference and see us live.
Awesome. What is your pricing strategy?
Say that again?
What is your pricing strategy?
Charge them a whole lot. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm speaking a lot because my background is a lot in business, and my wife's is a little different. She comes from a different era. I have a heavy corporate background.
Okay.
And a pricing strategy is you have to look at the market. And you have to look at what the landscape of the market is saying. And you have to look at, we do demographic studies. So we put ads out there on social media. For example, we was just talking about this before we came on, right?
right.
About the demographics. And those demographics dealt with who is watching or looking to watch tonight's broadcast. I think I mentioned to you earlier, age 17 to like 34. So that demographic is a younger audience. So they may not have as much income as that older audience above 40 and 45. But you know what? They're risk takers. They're much more risk takers. So they'll take a risk on signing up for a membership or a subscription faster than someone who's older, because they want to take in that information so that they can grow. But our pricing strategy, it varies. We just really look at, what kind of profit margins we need to earn. So we go for great. If this is our revenue, we have to ask ourselves, if we're going to let's the West Coast, right, babe?
So yeah. So most of our following has been on the West Coast.
Yes. And
so which means that it's a different market
than Connecticut.
In Connecticut here on the East Coast. So,
very, very different. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it's just too different.
So we haven't done much in Connecticut. But when we look at our biggest following and demographics who support what we do, it's California, Texas, Florida, the Carolinas. And they will pay us airfare, room and board, rental car, and on top of that, whatever our set fee is for the venue. the demographics, how we break out that pay scale is like this here. Now, if we're coming to a church to do a marriage workshop, and they got like 50 people, it don't make no sense us charging them like $1,000. You get what I'm saying? We have to be fair in that respects. You know, but yet, if we're going to Texas, it's a much larger group, and if I'm the keynote speaker, there's a difference. And if my wife is speaking to women on a specific topic, there's different price. If it's both of us, that's a different price. So yeah, you have to look at what those pricing strategies are, and every scenario is going to be different for us. And I think people have to look at, and capitalize on what that client is looking for you to do, or that customer.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And I want to know about how you guys collaborated into one business, because you talked about each having a separate business before you got married. So we will talk about that when we come back.
Great.
Marriage is work, and building a strong marriage is work.
As you're building a strong relationship, have fun. We all know relationships start off happy, enjoyable, like a new car. Then that's when the newness wears off.
That's why MLB speaks the truth in love. With 25 plus years of marriage and over 15 years as marriage mentors, encouraging couples, we've seen things turn around. We'll provide many insights as to how to have and what a strong marriage looks like.
We look to impact your audience with our talks that isn't just one.
So, contact us today for your next in-person or virtual couples event, so couples can have a stronger marriage and someday share their overcomer story, just like us.
Welcome back. And we are with Martin and Nell Barrett. You guys doing okay?
Look at that. How did I mute? I said I like that advertisement.
Oh, thank you. So you guys had a chance to think about how you came together. So you were an entrepreneur in cosmetology, right? You had your own salon. And then you were in the corporate world. So how did you guys come together and decide, let's have a business together, a partnership?
Well, tell her about the salon.
Well, like in a salon there, so, you still have to have advertisement, and, a lot of time it was like word of mouth, but then, as time progressed and stuff, there become a whole lot of bootleg hairdressers. So the business started changing, just like the music industry started, changing as well, and so forth. Though. And then my life started changing because then we had our first child, and we felt like that I was going to stay home. So I had to find something else to do. And while me being home, we're, advertising and thinking about it. So we came up with his marketing skills, and me always trying to, find ways to advertise. We came up with Marnell Ad Specialty, and that was our first business together.
That was our first business together. And what we did was, it was Marnell. So it was Martin and Nell. And it was a marketing company we did because she wasn't able to do the hair anymore. She stopped doing hair. She's still licensed, but nobody don't call us about doing hair, because no, she ain't doing that right now. Yeah. But she still keeps her license. We live in Florida, so she got licensed in Florida and Connecticut. But Marnell birthed, that was our first business we had, and that birthed to the fact when we wanted to do a business together. And as you said, now the kids were little.
Right.
And one of our first big clients, guess who it was?
Who?
The Bridgeport Bluefish.
It's a local baseball team.
No longer in Bridgeport. And a lot of people don't know, we did some of the initial marketing for ad specialties for the Bridgeport Bluefish. We were the first minority business that they signed an agreement with to do business with in the city of Bridgeport, with the Bridgeport Bluefish.
Awesome.
So, and that, listen, back then, they didn't have any minority businesses doing anything for them. We were the very first one back then, which most people don't even know. Would you believe that? But we count that, and that sprang forth to a lot of different things where we started doing a lot of marketing ad specialties for a lot of like the 500 Black Women, something of America. I forgot the name of it. We did a lot of small businesses, and and it grew to the point even a lot of people doing T-shirts now.
Yeah.
We added that.
Yeah, that was part of it. I think people are doing that more so now. But yeah, we did all kinds of marketing for people, clothing,
We did.
bags.
And we did all those in screen printing business. We added to our repertoire for the marketing and ad specialties. Here's the funny thing. So my wife is very aware and conscious of fashion and design. So she's like, well, we can get boxes of T-shirts. Why are we buying shirts for this from like Kmart or Caldors?
He didn't realize that you can get more for your money.
So we started buying
purchasing in bulk.
Absolutely.
So I'm like a big 2 cases of T-shirts arrived at the house, and you know what? It was just less expensive. I learned from her because that's what she comes from, that era. That before
in the hair salon, you gotta buy by the bulks.
So we bought them by the cases of shirts, and that increased our profit margin, increased our revenue, but gave us more profit GP. So now instead of paying $5 for a shirt, it's $2 for a shirt, and you make the shirt for the client, and we're selling it for $7. Wow, life was beautiful.
Yeah, it was for $7.
I don't think you can get a $7 shirt anymore anywhere.
Now it's way more than that. I mean, I think a plain T-shirt now it probably costs you $5.
Yeah, but you have to take into consideration the person's skill and what they can do with that T-shirt.
That's true, but if they remarket that
quality
thing on it, they can do $12, $15 for that shirt. But we were a wholesaler. Just letting you know, we were a wholesaler. So, like, let's say, for example, your business that you have, you would come to us, and we would help you create the design, and we would screen print it on there. We did mugs, we did pens, we did hats, we did the whole gamut. And then you would resell it to your clients.
Awesome. What is the best business structure for husband and wife?
You want to say it first? I'll let you. Business structure. Any comments on that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So in terms of what's best, LLC, S corporation,
LLC.
Okay.
LLC. Listen, you ain't coming after my house. Okay. So proprietorships, run. Bad. You know what I mean?
And what are the other benefits?
The benefits, it's protection against your personal property assets. Honestly, let me tell you something. You want to wake up tomorrow morning, you do something, and they sue you. Guess what? They're going after your personal bank account, not that corporation. Right. Never do a sole proprietorship. I mean, so funny. We actually had a sole proprietorship. Oh my goodness! And somebody, our mentors, we have mentors too. It says you need to get rid of that right now. This is back when we was a lot younger in our early days of marriage, and so we learned. It's trial and error, right?
It is a trial
and we're hoping that people today, like you said, Nell, take the information and utilize it. I mean, you can get an LLC now for like $300-$400. I mean, there's so many websites, companies out there. It is not expensive. It's not expensive.
And you can do it for yourself for cheap.
Yes, you can. But if you don't know, use that money.
Well, now they know you can do it for yourself.
You can.
So in terms of the LLC for partnership and marriage, do you know the benefits of that?
Well, you have a president and a vice president. Naturally, I'm the president. My wife's, the vice president, and then we could, we have adult children. We ain't put them on there yet. One day.
So you can have membership share
Yes.
between the two of you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
And it's for us, it's a 50-50 split, and it's just like a marriage. Our marriage is 100-100.
Yeah,
We don't do 50-50. By the way, we want to say one thing about marriage and money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the saying you always say? Forgive me. United in the bed.
You're one in the bed, but separate at the bank account.
and
that caused many problems.
Explain that to him, babe.
Yeah, because a lot of married couples, they have separate bank accounts, and his money is his money and her money is her money. But when it comes to the bedroom, we're one, and I think as we're joined together as man and wife, we should be one everywhere across the board, not just one in the bedroom.
And I think from a marriage standpoint, for us, it's helped us.
It wasn't always like that with us too, so we could be candid too.
Yes, because
transparent on this show.
Because when I was working in the music industry as a young executive, and I was on a business trip in Chicago or Detroit, meeting with a whole bunch of clients, I had the privilege of sales and marketing some of the biggest names in the industry, the music industry. And my wife calls me and says, "Your company is on television." I said, "That's awesome." No, they just filed bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. Thank you for giving me the memo and letting me know that I'm on a corporate business trip and they filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
And so, we're living in Florida at the time, and we're a young couple, newly married. We're burning through money. I mean, like burning through it, literally. And my wife says, "Oh yeah, let's go visit my parents." I go, "No, we don't want to. We want to spend all that money." She goes under the bed, and what did you do?
Well, like he said, we were going through our savings really pretty fast, and he just had this distressed look on his face every time I saw him. He just looked so distressed, and I'm like calm, and I'm like, "Don't worry about it, we're okay." And I went under our bedroom mattress there, and I pulled out some money.
A lot of money. No, it wasn't $50. No, it wasn't $500. No, it wasn't a
smart woman.
It was quite a bit.
Just that 1099 money she had before she got married.
And and I thought as a wife I was doing the right thing, like, hey, I'm here to help us, and his thing was, where did you get that money from?
Because the thought was.
And I was like, well, my mama always told me you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You always have something for a rainy day. So we were having a storm.
Oh, no, it was a big financial storm in our life.
Storm.
And I think, I said to her, "So those $10,000 bonus checks, are those mine or are they ours?" Mm-hmm. So we came to a happy medium. The good thing, we had good marriage mentors back then. Yes. In our life. And we learned that, not all couples will put all their money and work together. We get it. Everybody's different, but we encourage one bank. We have one bank account. There's honesty. There's accountability.
Yes.
Just like, I can't go into any business money. She can't listen and go out and buy. I'm going to go out and buy me a brand new car and spend $15,000. No, it's accountability. Yes. And that's how marriages get destroyed and businesses within couples get destroyed because, there's no accountability. Mm-hmm. And that's problematic. And I think when you keep it all above the table, mm-hmm. level, listen, it keeps everybody honest. And that goes for even whether you're in ministry, mm-hmm. business, this is 2022. A lot of people don't like accountability. They don't like not accountability. Was it not clarity? What's the word? Transparency. A lot of people don't like transparency.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. No. So you touched on it a bit, and just for those who may watch this later, right, in the replay, and those may come in before we log off, is your marriage equipped to handle the stress of business together?
It is.
Yes. Yes.
What got you there?
I believe our relationship with the Lord, really, He's first always,
Great.
always.
In Psalms, he says, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And we tell people, I tell pastors this because I speak from a leadership standpoint. I was in their shoes before. I'm still in their shoes because I still do Bible study. My wife, she's done women's ministry. Christ has to be the focus. Now we know some people may watch this and say you're not a believer, you don't follow Christ. But for us, God is the sanity, and He is the center.
Yes.
For us, there are times when actually when our kids were little, revenues was like, wow. Honestly, listen, we was at the now food pantries and banks are popular. Oh, we was there when our kids were babies. My son went next door one time and he knocked on the neighbor's house door and said, "Hey, are your lights out too?" Listen, kids will tell all your business. They tell all your business. I'm like, no, he didn't. Listen, everybody's lights are on in the whole street except ours. Guess what? We have the lights.
Oh gosh.
So those are but you know what? When you think about those difficult times, we know that
She's still laughing.
listen, kids are honest.
They are honest. Let me tell you.
Kids,
They'll tell it all.
They will tell it.
They will tell it all.
That was innocent, right?
And he was genuine, innocent, and concerned.
Listen, if I could have turned red as a black man, that day I did. Because I was like so embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a man, it was like, I can't provide my family. But man, the glue to what we do, it is Christ. One thing I want to say is, a lot of people, they have a job right now and they say, I want to be in business. Mm-hmm. A job, a lot of times for many people, is what they call
just over broke,
paycheck to
paycheck. So,
and you have to look at your skill sets. Mm-hmm. You say, how can I capitalize on some skills that I have? Mm-hmm. And all Nell and I are doing is capitalizing on our experiences, our skills. We're sharing that with the greater community throughout North America, in hopes that they will do that. One of the first things that individuals need to do, they need to write down a list of the things that they're actually good at. Mm-hmm. Write those things down that they're good at.
Right.
Look at it. The Bible says, what? If you got a vision,
write it down,
make it plain. Mm-hmm. And the next, what you want to do is you want to strike off the ones that you're not good at. Mm-hmm. So if you write down something you like, you're not good at it, take it off your list, because you ain't gonna make no money doing it. Okay. And the next, you want to connect with some good mentors. Mm-hmm. And
it's important to have mentors. Very, very important to have mentors to help you along the way. There's just some things that other people experienced, and sometimes, it'll help you avoid those pitfalls. Once again, like 1099s, he didn't know that he would have to pay taxes, but little things like that. Mm-hmm. Means a lot, and when you have to make a decision, sometimes somebody with experience could say, I don't think that's a wise choice.
And, people who are going to tell you, that's just a dumb idea. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad we got people like that in our life. Back to one thing I'm going to say, I know we're pressed with time. Nell, my wife, Nell knew about 1099s. Okay. I don't want to make your head laugh too much. Okay. Mm-hmm. But one day, Nell calls me and says, Martin, why is all our assets frozen?
Wow.
Guess what? I didn't pay taxes. They froze this is the early days of our marriage. Listen, when I say Uncle Sam is not your uncle,
he's not your uncle.
my wife's cousin, we went to her wedding, and she wrote a check to her wedding. It was a good sized check. Well, I don't know how much it was actually, but anyway. And guess what? She goes, your check. The bank won't take your check. She goes, this money. What you say?
And you know what I said? What's wrong with you? There's plenty of money in my bank account. And I called my husband up and I was like, what's going on here?
Listen,
Yeah.
when I say they froze everything, they froze everything. Listen,
we come a long way.
we learned.
We come a long way.
And we learned that you don't play with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, when they hit that button, take it all, it's literal. Yeah. Listen, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. People say what they want to say. I begged them to return it. I said, can I just listen? Please don't take it all at once. And they actually worked out a plan with us. So listen, they said, you ever do that again? Don't ever do that again. And listen, I get it. But it was a lesson that I had to learn. We both learned the hard way. Now, if I would have listened to her, the 1099 lady, and doing taxes and paying them properly, quarterly,
yeah.
I didn't listen, and that was my fault. And
do you listen to her now?
Listen, I listen to her a lot now. Listen,
sometimes.
Listen, yeah, sometimes I do. We get selective.
Do you have similar professional and personal goals?
I think our goals are similar, but yet different.
Okay, how so?
Because there are things that together that we want to see achieve, but then also there's just something personally that I probably want to achieve, that has probably don't have anything to do with him.
Okay.
And vice versa as well. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. What was the question again? See, men got a short.
Yeah, you do. Do you have similar professional and personal goals?
Yes, we have similar and different personal goals. I think I can definitely concur with Nell on that. Some of my goals that I said to Nell, and sometimes she hates when I say this though, so forgive me for saying this again, Nell. The average lifespan for a person on this earth, especially a male, is 74.4 years left. So I'm pushing middle age. And I said to myself, I want to be able to, I don't have a whole lot of time unless Lord tarries or gives me more time on this earth. So I want to redeem every moment that I have while I have breath in this physical body that he has given me. And my goal is to accomplish everything that I possibly can to his glory and to honor him. And I've been gifted with many different talents and skill sets, to be honest with you. And I told myself, when I leave this world and I get before my Lord, and I said, God, you blew my mind, because all those talents and skills you've given me, I didn't want to, growing up, I never wanted to bury my talents. I mean, I've been very fortunate and blessed to be able to do so many things in my lifetime. And people actually, they think I'd be lying, but I've actually accomplished so much. And it's all because of the grace of God, honestly. And my wife, with her by my side, my helpmate, she has helped me truly to achieve that and more, and then some, and vice versa. I mean, I couldn't ask for anyone better to be by my side, even when I got sick years ago. My stomach was so big, you didn't know who was pregnant, me or her.
Wow.
Listen, you would have said to me, you having twins too? But you know what she did? My wife, she got healthy and she went vegan, right?
Yeah, I went vegan.
Tell about that a little bit before we go.
Well, it's just like one of those things, a lot of people do it for many different reasons. And I was concerned about my health. And as I was getting better with my health, I would share with my family and my friends about changing their lifestyles and, not changing their lifestyle, but just start eating healthier. And once he started baby steps, little by little, little by little, little by little, because he still have his meat. But he has transformed tremendously.
Great.
Going from 268 pounds to 208 right now. I used to eat a bacon, egg, and cheese every day over white bread, a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, butter pecan. And let me tell you something. One day we're going to do a health podcast show, and people are going to be like, yeah, you was a big dude.
Wow.
And that's what, those are the similarities. She showed me similarities. Living a healthy lifestyle, it actually helps the business because it allows us to do more together.
Okay. I have 2 questions before we go. Right. And so one, I want to ask, are you both equally passionate about the business that you have together?
Yes, yes, because when it comes to MLB speak, especially the not the business. Well, you're the businessman, but I mean, far as like relationship, our goal is to really help married couples. That has been a passion of ours for a very long time, and people need to know just too many marriages being broken up. Not just in the world, but in the church as well, and people need to see healthy get tools and resources to help their relationship, help their marriages. Too many times we invest in so many things in our careers and our education, but the 2 most important things, your marriage and your family, we don't invest in those things. And that's a passion that I have and we have together.
We do. Most people wing it. They figure, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get married. Let me just wing it. We'll figure this thing out along the way. Or they have a child. They go, oh, you know what? You're just gonna go ahead and wing it. Listen, listen.
You don't have to do that anymore.
You don't have to do that anymore. That's why we're here.
And there's so many other resources out there
besides us.
Yes, it's important.
I like you. So now this question is because something you brought up earlier while we were talking, and you talked about your gifts and talents. And so many people have gifts and talents that they are so creative and good with everything, right? And we get that creativity from our Father, the Creator. And so how do you get a person to pinpoint on one thing? Because I'm asking for myself.
I'm asking for a friend?
I'm asking for a friend. So how do you narrow it down to one thing?
That is to capitalize on your skill sets. You know what you're good at, and you know what you're not good at. So how about applying those skills and capitalize on them and make that your primary earning opportunity? We tell people, don't quit your day job. And your first step, like I said before, is to write them down. And when you write them down, and then you got to investigate, the common consumer needs. You need to put together a business plan. And then you don't want to tell everybody your idea. Because honestly, when I was a teenager, someone stole my idea. And to this day, I don't get a drop of the royalties. And it's still being sold to this day. And it breaks my heart. But I said to myself, you fool me once, you never ever happen. You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I'll take this here. You have to take an investment risk, and seek an investment worth time and money. If a person's not willing to take an investment risk in themselves, how can they expect someone else to take an investment risk in what they're doing? And maybe you can, you can find a struggling business and help them. Take your mind share and help someone else. We started out, over 15 years ago with our knowledge base. My wife right now, she could talk to any hair school, any small business, any business that says, you know what, I want to be a stylist. They just think about styling hair. My wife, I learned from her customer service in that salon. That's what a lot of salons forget.
It's not just about looking good, you want to be treated right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to our audience. Before we go, is there any upcoming events that you have, anything you have going on that you want to share with the audience at this time?
I think you was gonna say something, babe.
I was, but guess what? You go ahead.
Um, I just want to say, we want to say thank you to all, our supporters out there. California, West Coast, we appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
You know who you are. Texas, we're going to be out there very soon. Georgia, Florida, Alabama, the Carolinas. You guys have been showing us a lot of love. And honestly, we can't say any more thank you for you guys. Connecticut, where we live, I need to show some love to us right here, okay? We want to encourage you to visit our website, which is www.mlbspeaks.com. You can type in MLB Speaks on all the social media handles, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Did I forget any of the TikTok as well? Yes. If you want to email us tonight, our email is info@mlbspeaks.com. If you'd like to call us, it's 203-951-1344. And honestly, we want to thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Really, we appreciate it. There's a lot we could talk about when it comes to business. We even built a 32-channel studio in our home to support what we do, to give good imagery, good lighting.
You forgot to mention that your book is coming out.
Yes. My book, yes, that should be coming out. Our goal is maybe the latter part of the fourth quarter this year or first quarter of 2023. Really going to be a lot of great information in there.
The name of the book?
Yes, it's going to be about
The name of your book. I
don't want to say that.
You don't want to say it yet?
Okay.
But it's going to give you a lot of tips and quips on business.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's going to really encourage a lot of small businesses. It's going to encourage a lot of pastors out there. My heart is really to feed the sheep from a pastor standpoint, to really see them grow, mature in their business, in their ministry. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to convey that in a literary form so that when they're not talking with myself or my wife, Nell, they can read it in the book.
Awesome. Great. I appreciate you guys. Next week on Wednesday, we have Myasia Reed, who will come and talk to us again about Business Month. This young lady is blessed. She has many things that she does, and I'm going to have her come back and share that with you. But on Sunday, September 18th, will be the panel discussion on Thy Kingdom Come. So please join us Sunday evening at 6 p.m. and then come back next week on the 21st for Myasia Reed for Business Month. We thank you all for being such supporters of His Will for Your Life. We look forward to continue to serve you and bring you content. If you haven't done so already, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to His Will for Your Life and follow us on YouTube. Have a great night. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Any closing remarks, you guys?
Well, listen, we want you guys to support His Will for Your Life. This is a great show, great program, right, babe?
Absolutely.
Any last words you want to say, babe, to any of the women out there?
I just want to tell you guys that, you know what? It's going to be all right, ladies. It's going to be all right.
Those last words about don't settle?
No, you don't have to settle for less. Know your worth. That's my favorite thing.
That's my favorite word. Know your worth. And it took me a minute to learn mine. So I know my worth. And then I added tax.
There you go.
So know your worth. Thank you all again. And thank you for supporting us. And please go over and follow MLB Speaks on all of their platforms. And we look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. God bless you all.
Thanks.
Join us again next week for another riveting, informative segment